we can ask ourselves the question, what actually is a macro? Well, a macro is simply a series of steps that have been remembered and that we can rerun at any stage we like. Here are two example macro actions. We have one little macro step here. Step 1, to select cell A1, so it will go to here. Type your name into A1, so we'll type our name into there. Format cell A1 as bold and increase the font size to 12 points, so that will take place. And then we auto fit column A. Column A will be widened to fit the person's name. And then stop. That is a series of steps called a macro. We have a second macro here, which is to select the current column. So wherever you are in the sheet, the macro will select the column, insert a new column to the left of that column. It will then copy the selected column, so that's this column here that it's selected, and then it will paste special the values only into the new inserted column, and then it will stop. So you can see when you break a macro down, it is just a set of simple actions. Those actions are then stored, and we need to look at where they're stored and how we store them. And then they're recalled, and there are various recall options to make your macro run. Now the macros themselves are recorded, so you don't actually need to write any code, but Excel will write the Visual Basic for applications that is required, that is then stored, and that is the snippet of code that we then go and execute. We'll obviously look at how we create macros, how we can edit macro by actually dropping into that code, and how we can then trigger the macros to run when we want them to run, either by attaching them to buttons, attaching them to the toolbar, or attaching them to keyboard shortcuts.